Gentlelady from Pennsylvania, Ms. Dean, is recognized for an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment at the desk, and I ask that the reading be dispensed with.
Without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with, and the gentlelady is recognized for remarks on her amendment.
And I want to again thank Representative Bonnie Watson-Coleman for joining me on this, and now Representative Veronica Escobar for joining me on this also. Mr. Chairman, I'm grateful for the chance to offer this amendment and to lift the tragedy, the catastrophe, the human suffering that is happening before our very eyes in Gaza. We all recognize the horror that Hamas inflicted on Israel October the 7th, 2023, nearly 2 years ago. None of us will ever forget where we were as we watched in horror the slaughter, the kidnapping, the sexual violence, the horror. I've met with many hostages' families. I've met with hostages who had been released. I wear this tag, this dog tag, every single day. It is for the release of the hostages, still 50, approximately 50, living and deceased, being held by Hamas in Gaza. I put it on as a prayer every single day for the return of the remains and for the return, please God, of those who are living. And we can also recognize the suffering of innocents and ensure the clear use of funds and the efficiency of humanitarian aid distribution, which we see has been such a challenge. Here's what my amendment aims to do: to enforce one of the greatest responsibilities of Congress, that of appropriations, and ensuring transparency, accountability, and oversight of our taxpayer dollars. The Foreign Assistance Act demands the prevention of fraud, corruption, and demands good governance, transparency, and accountability. Last week in Foreign Affairs Committee, I questioned Deputy Secretary Regas of the State Department's support of the newly formed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an organization that is violating core humanitarian principles. I asked the State Department, and I don't know if this got past you because it did for some period of time get past me. Why did the State Department waive 9 mandatory counterterrorism and anti-fraud safeguards to rush in 5 days' time a $30 million award to the newly formed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation? Under UNRWA and other UN agencies, including Cindy McCain's World Food Program, with whom I have met multiple times, Gaza has 400 distribution sites and delivered medicine, services, and food aid to each person in Gaza. The newly formed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has only 4 sites for a population of 2 million people. Prior to this time, not a single refugee was gunned down as they attempted desperately to retrieve aid for their family with UNRWA or World Food or other UN programs. Yet, as of July 21st, more than 1,000 Gazans have been killed, shot and killed by IDF by trying to simply get food. Mr. Netanyahu's administration, as well, the Trump and Netanyahu administrations, under Section 7067 of this bill, claim aid diversion by Hamas. I've had conversations with the Prime Minister himself to say, show us that. They have provided no proof of that. And don't get me wrong, I believe Hamas could be stealing some of this support. But it is certainly not the right reason, and there's been no proof, to shut down all aid. Punish the victims, the innocent. I asked the Department of State for classified or unclassified evidence of these claims. I have yet to receive a response. Even President Biden's special envoy for Middle East humanitarian issues said Israel never proved that Hamas was stealing a majority of the UN or NGO aid. Mrs. Cindy McCain, in conversations with her that I have had, also confirmed that World Food Program was not seeing that. So why are we tearing down established systems to replace them with what has become a death trap for starving Palestinians? I strongly support the opening remarks made by Ranking Member DeLauro. We need to restore all funding. The agencies that were providing food, medicine, services, such as UNRWA, World Food Program, and International Medical Corps. My amendment focuses on fiscally relevant congressional requirements for oversight, transparency, accountability. Simply, it seeks a report with compliance of the mandatory safeguards and disclosure of plans that prevent civilian harm and death around distribution sites. That's all. We cannot allow taxpayer dollars to contribute to the ongoing death of innocent people. I have repeatedly made my priorities clear, and you've seen these priorities from world leaders, including Pope Leo. What should happen is a ceasefire now. Return of the hostages, living and deceased, so that they will have their dignity. An immediate rush of full humanitarian aid and services into Gaza as the region and the world works toward a two-state solution where all people can live in dignity. Mr. Chairman, I do appreciate the chance to offer this amendment to raise this issue of this ongoing catastrophe of human making. These issues are about our common humanity. And it is with that, Mr. Chairman, that I withdraw my amendment.
Gentlelady from Texas, Ms. Escobar, is recognized for an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk, and I ask unanimous consent that the reading of the amendment be dispensed with.
Without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with, and the gentlelady is recognized for remarks on her amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To all of my colleagues in this room, I hope this is an easy one, and it really should be. This amendment is fundamentally about good governance, it's about saving taxpayer dollars, and it's about transparency. This amendment actually also builds on language already included in the bill that encourages congressional notification and consultation with Congress by the executive branch as it relates to the reorganization or redesign of agencies and organizations funded in this bill. So what does the amendment do? It requires a report to be shared with Congress 30 days before any reductions in force are to be implemented, and explicitly requires 4 pieces of information. Number 1, the justification for the reductions in force. Number 2, an outline of the impacts by office and staffing functions. 3, the length of severance and benefits made available to the employees who would be impacted. And 4, the total cost of the proposed reduction in force and where that money would come from. What we saw earlier this year with the massive reductions in force that frankly caught many of us off guard, many members of Congress were not aware of the massive reductions in force. Those reductions in force, some of those were overturned by a court. We later learned that some of the folks who were RIF'd essentially were paid to stay home. When those reductions in force had to be reversed, we had to pay severance. I was taught you measure twice and you cut once. And Congress has a very important role in measuring twice and cutting once, in being good stewards of our taxpayer dollars, in ensuring that we are aware of what any administration is doing. This does not limit the administration. This does not provide any onerous responsibilities on the administration. Truly, it is simply an amendment that provides transparency and allows Congress to get some insight into any rifts that might be coming. I will tell you, I have been heartbroken by the mass layoffs by many of our dedicated public servants. And this, again, does not prevent those layoffs. It simply gives us advance notice. So pretty simple. I hope we can all agree that we deserve that notification. We deserve that information. It's a very minimal requirement. I think it's an easy yes. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank the gentlelady, and the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Diaz-Balart, is recognized to address the amendment.
I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's almost an easy yes, but not quite. And I will tell you, respectfully, I will tell you why. The provision is duplicative of a long-standing provision contained in Section 7063 of the bill. A provision provides that the funds in this bill or prior acts may not be used to implement a reorganization, including any that eliminates, consolidates, or downsizes covered departments, agencies, or organizations without prior consultation with the appropriate congressional committees. And in addition, it further provides that such reorganization be notified to the Appropriations Committee to include a detailed justification. So again, I understand where the sponsor is trying to go. I just think that this is unnecessary and redundant of existing law, and therefore respectfully, I would urge a no vote. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I will yield back.
Thank the gentleman. The gentlelady from Florida, Ms. Frankel, is recognized to respond to the amendment.
Thank you. And I think this is our last amendment, so I want to thank everyone for hanging in there, and thank you for this very, very fine amendment. Listen, why do we need to do this? Because we have a lawless White House that ignores the laws and ignores the Congress, and it's about time that we have some spine and we say, hey, we need the reports, we need the information, we need the transparency, and we need to pass this very good amendment. And I yield back.
Thank the gentlelady. Gentleman from California, Mr. Levin, is recognized to address the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, and I rise in support of the amendment. I thank my colleague and friend from Texas for offering it. And, Mr. Chairman, and to the chairman of the subcommittee, respectfully, I appreciate what you said, but the administration is not following the statute that you reference. I wish I were wrong about that. I wish that it weren't the case, but I can tell you that we are not getting the notice that is required by that statute. If we were, we would have no need for this amendment. But I would hope that we would all agree that there's something really different going on with this administration than we've seen in the past, administrations of either party, including the first Trump administration. The role of our committee, the role of our institution has been discussed a lot in the last few weeks. And I'm so glad that that plaque, Mr. Chairman, is still up on the dais. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7, no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. That same Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7 that's in the logo of this committee, Mr. Chairman, appropriately and rightfully. That clause means Congress controls the power of the purse, not the OMB. And it means we have a duty, a constitutional duty, a responsibility to ensure that the funds we appropriate are used wisely and lawfully. That's part of why we're here. So if an agency is about to lay off employees or close offices, we should be told before it happens, not after the fact, not as a courtesy. This is our responsibility. There's clear and long-standing precedent for this kind of requirement. The chairman raised that statute, but Congress routinely requires agencies to submit detailed reports or justifications at least 30 days before taking significant actions, whether closing VA facilities or transferring funds, reorganizing programs, carrying out a RIF, certainly. That's been my experience as an authorizer for 6 years, and I hope that's the case here too. Advance notice provisions appear regularly in past appropriations bills and oversight statutes because they preserve Congress's constitutional role in deciding how taxpayer dollars are used and ensure that major decisions affecting public services and federal employees are made with transparency and accountability to us, not to one party or another, to all of us. But there is a pattern of behavior by the current OMB that goes well beyond what we've seen before. And we have seen funds frozen. We've seen congressionally appropriated funds not released. We've seen funds potentially being held back without going through proper legal channels. And these actions have raised serious alarm, and they have raised alarm including members of both parties. Both parties. Senate Republicans have expressed frustration with OMB's approach. One GOP aide told Politico that OMB is the problem, quote unquote. Mitch McConnell saying they'd like a blank check. I agree with Senator McConnell. Another report describe how the White House is pushing to expand executive power by reserving the ability to freeze or rescind agency spending at will. That's what's still to come, even when we've already appropriated the money. It's really about a larger effort to strip Congress of its oversight role altogether. That's something that should concern each and every one of you. And even if this process is so partisan where you can't support this amendment, I hope you speak out about this. This is important to all of us. So all this says is if you're going to lay people off or shut down offices, explain the plan, tell Congress what it costs, tell us how services will be maintained. That's not partisan at all. That's just responsible governance. And if we're going to preserve the balance of powers that our founders envisioned, we can't just let one branch make all the decisions. We've got to reaffirm our role, and I do think this amendment can help bring some much-needed daylight to this process. So I urge my colleagues to support it, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman. Are there other members wishing to address the amendment? Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Power was great, and no confidence that this amendment, which should pass, will pass.
Are there other members wishing to address the amendment? Seeing no, the gentlelady is recognized for 1 minute to close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, I want to address your concern head on. Your concern that this is duplicative. Here's why it's not. It's not duplicative because the administration, if it did not follow the 30-day rule in this amendment for some very simple information that Congress should have, if the administration doesn't follow the rule laid out in this amendment, then they're prohibited from riffing employees. I don't know about you, but I don't like reading about things like riffs in the newspaper or seeing them on the news as a member of the Appropriations Committee. We should have the right and the obligation to this information, and I would encourage every one of my colleagues to vote in favor of this very simple amendment that calls for transparency. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank the gentlelady. The question now is on the amendment offered by the gentlelady from Texas. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. Opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Roll call has been requested. Sufficient number of hands have been raised. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Adderholt. Mr. Adderholt, no. Mr. Aguilar. Mr. Aguilar, aye. Mr. Alford. Mr. Alford, no. Mr. Amade. Mr. Amade, no. Mrs. Bice. Mrs. Bice, no. Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop, aye. Mr. Calvert. Mr. Calvert, no. Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, no. Mr. Case. Mr. Case, aye. Mr. Siscomani. Mr. Siscomani, no. Mr. Klein. Mr. Klein, no. Mr. Cloud. Mr. Cloud, no. Mr. Clyburn. Mr. Clyburn, aye. Mr. Clyde. Mr. Clyde, no. Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole, no. Mr. Cuellar. Mr. Cuellar, aye. Ms. Dean. Ms. Dean, aye. Mr. Loro. Mr. Loro, aye. Mr. Diaz-Balart. Nope. Mr. Diaz-Balart, no. Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards, no. Mr. Elzey. Mr. Elzey, no. Ms. Escobar. Aye. Ms. Escobar, aye. Mr. Espaillat. Aye. Mr. Espaillat, aye. Mr. Fleischman. Mr. Fleischman, no. Ms. Frankel. Ms. Frankel, aye. Mr. Franklin. Mr. Gonzalez, no. Mr. Gonzalez, no. Mr. Guest. Mr. Guest, no. Mr. Harder. Aye. Mr. Harder, aye. Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris, no. Mrs. Hinson. Mrs. Hinson, no. Mr. Hoyer. Aye. Mr. Hoyer, aye. Mr. Ivy. Aye. Mr. Ivy, aye. Mr. Joyce. Ms. Capter. Mr. Lalota. Mr. Lalota, no. Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee, aye. Ms. Letlow. Ms. Letlow, no. Mr. Levin. Mr. Levin, aye. Ms. Malloy. Ms. Malloy, no. Ms. McCollum. Ms. McCollum, aye. Ms. Ming. Ms. Ming, aye. Mr. Molinar. Mr. Molinar, no. Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, no. Mr. Morelli. Mr. Morelli, aye. Mr. Mervan. Mr. Mervan, aye. Mr. Newhouse. Mr. Newhouse, no. Ms. Perez? Ms. Perez, aye. Ms. Pingree? Ms. Pingree, aye. Mr. Pocan? Mr. Pocan, aye. Mr. Quigley? Mr. Reschenthaler? Mr. Reschenthaler, no. Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rogers, no. Mr. Rutherford? Mr. Rutherford, no. Mr. Simpson? Mr. Simpson, no. Mr. Strong? Mr. Strong, no. Mrs. Torres? Mrs. Torres, aye. Ms. Underwood? Ms. Underwood, aye. Mr. Valadeo? Mr. Valadeo, no. Ms. Wasserman Schultz? Ms. Wasserman Schultz, aye. Mrs. Watson Coleman? Mrs. Watson Coleman, aye. Mr. Womack? Mr. Womack, no. Mr. Zinke? Mr. Zinke, no.
Are there any members wishing to record their vote or change their vote? Gentleman from Florida?
Mr. Franklin, no.
Gentleman from Ohio?
Mr. Joyce, no.
Thought he had. Edwards? Are there other members wishing to record or change their vote? Don't want to miss anybody. Not, the clerk will tally. Oh, gentleman from Georgia? Is he recorded? I'm sorry, gentleman's recorded. I didn't want to miss you. On this vote, the ayes are 26, the noes are 35. The amendment is not adopted.